All sizable cities and communities are going to have many subdivisions, a lot of which are just fine, some of which are...
This all seems horrible.
However, in Columbia, Missouri, there are several subdivisions that you should at least be aware of and know about if you are moving to the area, or you live in Columbia but want to upgrade your home or get into a different area of Columbia. These are communities and subdivisions you should definitely know about, especially if you're interested in the new construction world of Columbia, Missouri. Now, these subdivisions are going to have more than just new construction to offer, particularly one of them is more of an older subdivision, but all of them are going to have some new construction and growth, and a few of them are growing quite rapidly in the amount of buildings and homes that are being put up every year. But once again, right before we get into those subdivisions, I am Noah Cochran, a real estate agent here in Columbia, born and raised here, known the area my whole life, just trying to get out here and share information and value to folks who might be moving here or live here already and just want to get to know the area better. Whatever it may be, if you're making some type of move in Columbia, Missouri, always feel free to reach out to me. Now, let's jump right into the subdivisions that you should know about if you're moving to Columbia, Missouri. Alrighty, so I somewhat divided these four main subdivisions that I'm going to talk about by price range, because some of these are in a much higher price range, some of these are in a more affordable price range if you're looking in the lower echelon of prices. However, I didn't really get into the under 350K price range just because there are many homes spread out throughout Columbia in that price range, some of which can be found in these subdivisions. Usually they're in the older subdivisions, but you can definitely find homes in that price range. However, these subdivisions I'm going to focus on are particularly nice and well-known ones in Columbia. So at the very minimum, they're usually going to be around the $400,000 mark at the cheapest. And to start at that lowest price range, that lowest mark, I want to talk about the Vineyards. So as you can see on the map, the Vineyards is right off Broadway, a major street road in Columbia, in the east of Columbia on East Broadway, right off that area. So very easy to access from 63 and really even I-70, not too far from the major streets in Columbia. And this subdivision is growing rapidly. I'm talking about many new homes being put up every year. In fact, when I used to work in remodeling in construction, I was working with builders who were putting up many homes in that Vineyards area. So I've been in that area many times. It's a great area. Now, the homes at the fringes of the subdivision that are being put up, you will just have to be aware that there's going to be a lot of new homes being built right next to that home at the fringes of the growing subdivision. So if new construction, noises and things is something you don't want to deal with, maybe don't buy a home or look at homes at the fringes of the subdivision. But there are many homes for sale in the Vineyards that aren't at the fringes, more in the interior, homes that are either being resold or ones that just haven't sold quite yet in the Vineyards that are available to you. And again, price ranges here can actually fall under 400K. So this is probably going to be your cheapest subdivision that we're going to talk about today. And again, these are almost all new construction homes. The Vineyards is a very new subdivision, and I have seen many homes there for sale at the 350 to 400K mark, or a little above 400K. But again, more affordable than these other subdivisions that we're about to get into. The thing that really sets it apart from the other areas, the higher price ranges, is that typically these are single level homes with less square footage in general. That's the thing that makes them that lower price range, that lower echelon of price compared to these subdivisions we're about to get into. So that was the Vineyards, definitely worth checking out. Now, the next subdivision is Legacy Farms. So as you can see on the map, Legacy Farms is in the south part of Columbia, not too far off the Nifong Road. So Nifong / Grindstone, which is the same road. So Nifong / Grindstone is another major road in Columbia running west-south, running parallel with Broadway. And this road connects to many different subdivisions, in this case, Legacy Farms. So Legacy Farms is the other subdivision that is very much new construction. We're talking about a lot of new construction. Now, again, you can find homes for sale in Legacy Farms that aren't like right next to a bunch of new homes being put up, and that way you can kind of avoid the new construction noise and bustle. But there are a lot of new homes going up in Legacy Farms in all the directions, a very much growing subdivision. And this price point for Legacy Farms is typically around 400K to maybe 600K price range. That's what we're looking at for Legacy Farms. You might be able to find some homes for sale a little under the 400K, and there are homes above 600K in some areas and cases, but most of the time it's going to be around that 400 to 600, 500-ish mark in Legacy Farms. So again, this subdivision, it's great. It's near all the stuff in South Columbia. If you're working or you're commuting a lot to the more north part of Columbia or the Broadway area, it will be somewhat of a drive for you with traffic and things. It's not a terrible drive or anything, but you are in the south part of Columbia, so just keep that in mind. Now, having said that, the south part of Columbia is one of the nicer parts of Columbia in general. All the subdivisions down there in general, again, in general, are pretty nice subdivisions, a lot of which are growing like Legacy Farms. All right, so that was Legacy Farms. Again, definitely worth checking out, especially if you're looking into new construction. But the next one we're going to talk about, and this one is definitely for you if you don't want to deal with new construction and you are available to buy or looking to shop in the higher price ranges, the 600K, maybe 500K to 900K price range. It's kind of a wide range, but it can definitely get expensive in the subdivision of Thornbrook. Now, Thornbrook is one of the more well-known subdivisions in Columbia, Missouri, an older subdivision, many nice homes. We're talking about very big, beautiful homes. Again, there are some homes, if you look online, that are for sale in the somewhat lower price range of 400 to 500K, but a lot of them are going to be above the 500K mark. So again, if you want to avoid new construction and you have a higher budget, Thornbrook is definitely a subdivision I would recommend. The only con I would ever really say about Thornbrook is kind of the same as Legacy Farms, and that is it can be a drive. If you're wanting to drive to more East Columbia or even downtown, it can be a drive depending on traffic. But again, at the very least, it is a straight shot. You can just take Scott Boulevard, which turns into West Broadway, which turns into East Broadway, which then is the downtown area, and eventually you reach the Vineyards and our last subdivision, and that is the well-known Old Hawthorne. So as you can see on the map, Old Hawthorne is right off East Broadway, right across the street, you could say, from the Vineyards area. However, Old Hawthorne is a very different cup of tea from the Vineyards. In general, Old Hawthorne is very much known for the higher end living in Columbia. We're talking about very nice homes. So if you're moving from somewhere else and you're kind of in that price echelon, if you're looking for a commensurate value over here in Columbia as far as the $1 million price range, this is definitely the subdivision for you. It has a very well-known country club, villa type area, lots of different amenities over there. And again, the location is excellent. Right off East Broadway, very easy to get to pretty much everything in Central Columbia, and just a very, very clean, well-kept, high quality subdivision, again, right off that East Broadway area. Now, I did mention the $1 million price range, and there are certainly homes in the $1 million to $2 million plus price range in Old Hawthorne. However, if you do look online, there are actually homes for sale in the Old Hawthorne subdivision that are around that 400K price point. There's not a ton of them, but the range is quite large. Just because Old Hawthorne is large, there are a lot of older homes. There's also a lot of new construction. The new construction tends to be quite expensive, but there's some new construction, again, in that cheaper, more Vineyards price range. If you are looking for large homes with multiple stories and basements and a ton of square footage, beds, baths, all these different things, this is, again, definitely a subdivision for you. If you're not really wanting to go to South Columbia for that Thornbrook area, this would definitely be another choice. Again, though, Old Hawthorne does tend to be more expensive than Thornbrook. Not necessarily. Again, it depends what exactly you're shopping for. But if you are looking in that higher echelon, again, I would definitely recommend going and touring through. Just drive through Old Hawthorne. You will be very impressed. So those are just some subdivisions I thought y'all should really know about in Columbia. Again, if you're already living here and you're wanting to learn more about the area, get to know the new construction world, or if you're relocating from another state or another place in Missouri, these are subdivisions you definitely want to know about. Again, in the new construction world, Legacy Farms, very good one, especially around that 500K mark. Vineyards, very good one around the 400K mark. And then if you want to get into some new construction, but also older homes that are in that higher price ranges, Thornbrook, South Columbia, excellent choice. And of course, Old Hawthorne in East Columbia with a many nice homes. Alrighty, folks. Well, I hope that was helpful to you. If you are looking at Columbia, once again, feel free to reach out to me. I would always love to assist if you would like to view these homes in person or just to get to know the area better or kind of shop around and find more information about Columbia subdivisions. But until next time, y'all have a good one.